Show, episode 8. Ocho Cinco, baby.
Ocho, we're back at it again. We're here today with some little bit of controversy, some news. Our album is coming out on the same day that if you're seeing this right now, we have a little EP out called World Domination.
World Domination.
So check that out.
We have a music video coming out.
Music videos coming out as
dirty.
well. Ooh, they're not ready for that video.
Yeah, that shit is sick. Bro, that shit is sick. That fucking 360 camera thing, dude.
Yeah, no, it's wild, bro.
Official. What's his name again? Controversy.
Shout out our boy Controversy.
Yeah. I haven't met you yet, dog, but that was dope. That was a real dope video, man.
Yeah, shout out to him. We're going to link his stuff in the bio.
Bet that.
Okay, we're going to start off with a little bit of a controversial topic. All right.
Talk to us, baby. Talk
the other day, I was at the skate park, and this guy came up like, yo, like, can I film you guys? You're looking cool. I'm like, yeah, I'm an artist, actually. He's like, oh, let's make a music video. So we do. And we film it. He texts me a couple of days later. Sorry, I'm being a little, if you're watching this, dude, this is a little bit open. But he was just like, you might want to change your name because people could get offended by it. And so I think now is a pretty good time at the beginning of my career to address this because I think it'll come up again in the future.
Definitely.
I'm called Mildly Brown. Some people who are brown and or black could be offended by this name for many reasons because if they think that I'm being a poser or something like that. Truly, I am mildly brown, although I've been inside all winter, you know. So
same here.
Kind of lost. Like, this guy, he's literally Dominican, bro. He might be even paler than me right now.
Yeah, it's the winter. It's a tough time, dude.
So, basically, you know, my whole entire life growing up, one of my first nicknames in life was Mexi because I was born with a mustache. And people just always called me Mexican, bro. They always thought I was Hispanic. But growing up, I didn't have any friends because I liked anime. And if you were growing up in the early 2000s and you liked anime, then you know that nobody liked you because they thought you were weird. Mm-hmm. Okay, so not only did everybody think I was Mexican, I only liked Japanese culture. The white people didn't fuck with me. Spanish people didn't fuck with me. Black people didn't fuck with me. Nobody fucked me. I actually grew up with no friends until I was about 12. I had like one friend at a time, and they would be my favorite person. You know, for all my BPD people out there, woo! You know we have favorite people sometimes because we're so used to being alone. When one person shows us a little bit of love, we're like, oh, this is my favorite person. I've grown past that a lot because having a favorite person is actually not good.
Really?
Yeah, it's not good, man.
Why? We'll get into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later too. But yeah, essentially, I was very lonely. I was very alone. I started getting more out there. Eventually, the first people I ever made like a real friend group with was Spanish people. Then I made a friend group with black people, and these are just the people that accepted me. You know, like all the preppy ass white kids from my school didn't accept me because I was just a little swashbuckler, man. Like I didn't have nothing in common with these people. I had common with people who had trauma, who've been neglected and treated wrongly for things that they couldn't control. You know, and that's why I think I related to these communities so much and why they took me in as like a kindred spirit because they just felt me, you know. They showed me love, like real love. Not love I never found at church. You know, they didn't love me because fucking God told them to love me or else they'd go to hell. No, they just really loved me for who I was and like
unconditionally, like without a condition.
And they shared their culture with me and they taught me about it. And I was in love, you know, with that. Just like I was in love with Japanese culture as a kid. So it's like my whole life I've been just going around the world and learning about it everywhere. And eventually somebody said I was mildly brown somewhere along the lines. I had a million nicknames. I was just like, that's a good rap name. And this is when I'm like 14. I'm now 24. I've been mildly brown for 10 years.
A decade.
Somebody said I should change my name because it could be offensive. And if you get offended by it, I'm sorry, bro. But at the end of the day, and this is going to be the most controversial take of them all, and they might hate me for this. A lot of people might hate me for this. We're all human beings, man. They created these races. They created these races to separate us. But I'm not going to let that separate me. And this is not, disclaimer, this is not to disrespect your experience you've had because having a different color skin does give you a different experience in this world. I understand that it's a lot more difficult to be a black person in America than a white person or a white passing person. Thanks. You know, I can understand that. And I'll never discredit that pain. And I'll always be there to fight and stand up for injustice when it comes to that, you know. Like,
word. I
mean that from the bottom of my heart, but I'm also here to say, just with that being said, you know, there's a higher level to get to. There's a higher level of uniting as one people, you know, as just one love, as one being to another.
So mildly brown is kind of like breaking that ice.
Yeah, mildly brown, that's what it really is about. So that's what that is. And if you can disagree with me and hate me if you want for that, but I literally I just see the world where it could be going. You know what I mean? And I'm just ahead. Like I'm there in the future, man.
Especially because people are so sensitive nowadays. Like you said, we are probably gonna run into that again in the future. And like I said earlier, like this is probably a good thing to probably start to train you on how to respond, because some people are just so overly sensitive, and and like I said, we're speaking controversial. Like a lot of the times, you have to move past a certain subject, truly, you know what I'm saying? And don't forget about it, you know what I'm saying? Understand where your roots came from, but like you have to oversee that and grow and carry on. You don't want to be stuck in the box. And
you can't let your appearance give you a personality trait. You just got to be yourself.
Exactly.
And being yourself doesn't have a color or a shape.
And the people that like do look at you that way, fuck them. Fuck them, because it's like, who are they in general to have an opinion on who you are? You know what I'm saying? And you were saying you were talking about
favorite person.
Oh
yeah, let's move on. Okay, we've said that. Now let's go into favorite person. All right, listen.
Yeah.
I'm a person who basically has a lot of mental illness, and when you have a favorite person, it can be dangerous because then.
Why is that? I never heard that.
Because okay. Number one, you're giving that person a lot of power in your life. If you lose them or something bad happens between you and them, or if they turn out to not even be what you thought they were, then it's like damage is done. But also, then you can neglect other people in your life. Like oftentimes, like your favorite person will like switch. You know what I mean? Like this is all mentally ill type people shit to do. No, people don't have favorite people. I think most likely. Like I mean, I have favorite people. I don't have a favorite person. My favorite person is me.
Facts. I love Teddy like Kanye loves Kanye, man.
Yeah, I definitely love Miley like Kanye loves Kanye for sure.
For sure, as you should, and that does make sense by you saying like, now that I'm thinking about it, if you have a favorite person, you are almost giving that person too much leverage in your life.
Yeah.
And like, I guess you're giving them almost traits that you're lacking within yourself almost.
Yes, that's always what
put them into that person.
Especially with like a lot of these horrible relationships we get into, like that's a lot of the times, you're like giving them this power like, oh, they're like this, they're like that. And it's really like you're describing yourself, these parts of yourself that you won't allow to flourish.
Because you see in them what you don't see in yourself. And this is where danger leads to, because like you said, as soon as that person's absent, you're now missing that thing that you were looking for, and now you almost feel lost or unsure of who you are as a person, which is a fucking deadly route to go on. This is why I say, honestly, like you said, it's better to be with nobody, be alone, than be with somebody that's toxic or...
Yeah, I had to block a girl who kept telling me that all she wanted was me, but demonstrating her behavior in abusive ways, and even being too close to some of my friends and doing some suspicious activity with them, but then still looking me in my eyes and just lying. Being like, no, like I wasn't doing that. That's not true. This and that. I'm like, I was right there. I was looking at you.
Yeah.
Pretty smart guy. Pretty wise lad. This lad right here. You see this lad? This laddie.
That's a fine lad, man.
This is a wise lad, man. This is a lad with a lot of big brain power.
Oh, back to I remember where I was about to go. Right before the topic we were talking about before. Like the industry that we're getting into, bro. It's also a very sensitive and a shiesty industry we're getting into. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we also have to be prepared, man, for, like, fucking shiesty moving people. 50 Cent said in a video I saw today, 50 Cent said, there are more crooked people in the business industry, in the music industry, than there are in the street. He goes, at least the people in the street have the courtesy to put a gun to you and make you feel those emotions, rather than these people smiling in your face and fucking you on paper and literally robbing you without you even knowing it. You feel me? He's like, at least when you're getting robbed in the street, you know you're getting robbed.
Yeah,
he's like, and
that makes
he's
a lot
like,
of sense right there.
And and these people are like, a lot of the people in the industry that we're gonna be facing, man. These are hurt people. These are people that are literally stemmed off of other people's beliefs. So this is what ties into what we were talking about earlier. Like, a lot of the times I've realized, I've experienced racism by police myself, and I know what racism feels like. But a lot of people have never experienced it. And they're only going off of other people's beliefs and constructs. And, like, maybe, not saying that this guy or whatever didn't go through anything or whatever. But, like, the way he was attacking you, he was literally contradicting himself, because he was telling you that you can't because you're mildly brown. That's racism in itself. You can't be mildly brown because you're white. It's like,
yeah, like
you feel me?
That's this whole like, I don't know when we started referring to people as colors, man. I don't know when it started. I'd love to go back in time and just avoid that. You know, it's just like, you know, it all stems from fear. You guys know X-Men, you know, fucking
X-Men or
X-Men.
Oh,
no, X-Men. You know, like it's X-Men is a comic book that's about racism. It's because like they don't like the mutants. They're different. They're afraid of them.
Is X-Men the Wolverine guy?
Yeah, Wolverine, Cyclops. You know, Jean Grey, Storm, Professor X.
That's Chinese to me.
All right, well,
that was racist.
I was also a normal comic book nerd, not just a Japanese comic book nerd growing up. They didn't like that either. Nothing I did made it better as a kid. Nah, but fucking... but essentially... And my parents, they would get me these whack haircuts and put all these whack clothes on me, bro. Like, I didn't even know.
Like, what kind of clothes?
Just whack, bro. Just no drip.
No drip at all?
No drip. They just sent me there with no drip.
Yeah.
All right, okay.
We gotta move forward.
Yeah, no. People, like... I don't know when it happened, but, like, I assume it has something to do with, like, different people groups discovering each other and essentially just feeling so afraid of each other. And, you know, out of that comes war. And, you know, war isn't always like war. Sometimes it's like a mental, cultural war. You know, people are just so scared, bro. People are just so scared.
But it's honestly, in reality, a lot of the times people say, we shouldn't be going through this. The world shouldn't be having to face this. But it's like, yo, the world right now is exactly where it needs to be. Because we have
Most certainly.
We have to go through this.
Yeah, we have to.
In order to understand the beauty of it, you know? Yeah. And, like, we have to go through this trial, this division, all this, to truly understand who we are as a human race. I think when the aliens fucking come, they're gonna... It's not gonna be black, white, Spanish. It's gonna be human race and the fucking aliens. Mars race.
And people should be prepared for that, you know? Like, that's why I try to unite with people, and, like, me and my group of people. See, I respect all you guys for cultural beliefs. If you want to believe that white people and black people and Spanish people and Asian people are all so fucking different, you know, if you want to believe that, that's fine. We have our differences and our uniqueness, which I would never discredit. However, we all bleed red. Thanks, and man. We're all here together. When I sit in a room with my brothers who are various colors, various different kinds of people, the people who I consider to be my brothers, you know, my family. They're not blood to me. We're not from the same mother or father, but they're my brothers. We lived together in a dugout. We were homeless. We were rapping together all day, every day. We split 4 for 4s from Wendy's. We split meals. Half of everything I had was going to some of these people. You know what I mean? Like these are my, and like when I look at them, I don't think about what fucking color they are. I sit in the room with them and I just love them. Like, you know, I just see their light, you know, their aura.
Exactly. Like you said, a good person's a good fucking person. It doesn't matter what color you are.
And that's what makes me feel like, you know what, dude, I don't like the separation that we're giving ourselves, you know? Yeah. Like we describe ourselves and how we appear. If I'm describing my appearance, that's the only time my race or if I'm describing my appearance, is the only time my appearance is fucking relevant. All right? If we're talking about who I am as a person, my appearance has nothing to fucking do with it.
Oh, and I also want to state, man, like even on a spiritual level, like, if you truly still have that, like, anger of, you know, of, like, slavery and of all this, like, racism, you know what I'm saying? You yourself have to let your ancestors free. Because by you holding on to this judgment and this, like, almost guilt, not guilt, but whatever it is, like, you yourself are keeping your ancestors imprisoned. Once you let go of that, your ancestors are free. But if you hold this resentment inside of you, they're going to be trapped forever. So it's up to you to let go of this and set your ancestors free and move on and create for the future. You know what I'm saying? And, that's and truly, and like...
That's a hard area for me to talk about, but I do...
Yeah.
Like, I can understand that. I mean, with since that's something I don't understand, as in, like, I'm not involved in that, so I won't speak on that. Okay. I feel like you can speak on that. but
well, I think anyone can speak on it, but...
What it makes me think of in general is just, when I was... I'm gonna be incredibly open right now. I don't remember if I ever said this on this podcast, but I might have. But when I was 16, my girlfriend was raped by my best friend at the time. And for a long time, I fucking hated this guy. I mean, with all my fucking heart, I hated him, and it took me so long. And eventually, after I was able to see things clearly, I realized that, you know, it's actually, I didn't even know if he did it. The girl, there's literally a 90% chance the girl was lying and just trying to manipulate me and keep me away from people so that she could control me and ruin my life.
Oh, that's sick.
So, and And even her, I forgive her. I forgive both these people. You know, like I forgive them. I see, and everything that people do comes from the pain that they feel inside. You know, like every single action these people take is, for example, whatever, like the original racism that happened. It's like that was that pain, that suffering, that fear. You know, and fear is the opposite of love. Truly, in the grander scheme of things, there's nothing more different than love than fear.
Fear is the biggest form of control, man.
Yeah, and people are so scared because their egos have an identity around themselves. And, you know, when they see something different, they feel like they're in danger because especially these egos developed at a time where, yeah, a couple thousand years ago, it would be dangerous to see someone who looked different than me because we're in a tribe. And it's tribal. It's fucking caveman shit.
You know? Facts, yo. We evolved. We're fucking spiritual beings,
yeah,
bro. We're no longer cavemen,
so
dude.
we're growing past that.
Wow.
And, you know, it takes a lot of fucking evolutionary removal of these fears for us to unite as one people, bro.
You just gave me chills.
That's the highlight.
Yo, for real, man.
Yeah, but so it took me a lot of years of humbling from the universe, which is this one beautiful thing, you know, like, and I'm just a piece of this universe. You know, like this is what, like, one cell of my body is almost the equivalent of what I am to the universe.
And I tell you, the real race is, other than human race, is high vibrational, low vibrational. You know what I'm saying?
I'm racist against low vibrational people.
Yeah, like, fuck low vibrational people.
Nah, I love you guys too, but stay away.
I fuck you. I hate you.
I don't hate you.
Unless you need help and you want help, I'll help you. But you know what I'm saying?
I might not even help you, but I do love you.
Yo, I don't got no time for that. But like, honestly though, like, and if this is triggering you or making you feel some type of way, really think with this mind. You know, think with your real self and understand where we're coming from, because it's like, if you don't go past this, man, you're never gonna, we're as a human race, we're not gonna evolve. We have to see eye to eye and understand who we really, as a human fucking species, have so much power. Dude, we can take this planet and shift it to a paradise if we just are on the same level, forgiving and loving.
Every single construct we've created, beyond the technology. I mean, even the fact that a tree is called a tree, that the dirt is called the dirt, and whatever language, all these other languages, they're called whatever they're called. But for us, I'm speaking English. It's called a tree. All right. So we called it a tree. We created the tree because we created the concept of it, and like, it gets pretty deep around this area. You know, you're like, wow. That's where you start to realize, like, wow, like, the separation, this space between you and I, like, it's never actually been, like, confirmed to be there. You know, like, space between stuff, you know, like, different stuff. Like, you go on the internet, you try to prove that there's different stuff that exists other than one thing. Like, have fun. All right, that's all I can say. Like, because scientists will never be able to prove that there's actually that my body stops right here.
Yeah.
Like that
on a surface level, you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they can't prove that me in this box and you and everything in this room are not one. They can't prove that.
Yeah.
Like cuz they're the ones who are creating the separating lines. Like they're the ones who told us, like, oh, you're you, he's you.
Wicked.
Like, and of course this isn't to get rid of individuality. The only way people can really work together and have unity is through individuality. Like, every piece needs to be appreciated, and it needs to appreciate itself. If you feel unappreciated in your unified system, like me and Teddy, we work together incredibly well. We both appreciate each other. We both are unique in our own people. We both are providing. You know, we both are just going hard, and we're part of this. We're in this now, like, this kind of like this fucking unified, like, two minds operating as one a lot of the times.
Yeah, and like you said, the individuality just comes from self-understanding, self-awareness.
You have to love yourself.
Like, once you're aware of who you are, then you're gonna be aware of who everybody is.
Yeah.
Because honestly, we all think the same. Yes, we have different experiences, but we all feel the same. Feelings are just recycled. So I don't know if you ever heard of this, but there's a certain amount of anger in the world, because energy can't be created or destroyed. Emotion is just the energy. So literally, the anger you're feeling is the same exact anger that got passed on from someone else. It's not new anger. It's anger that's recycled within the world, or happiness or sadness. It's all a set amount. So now you have to learn how to manipulate these energies and these feelings into using it in yourself. Because think about it. I forgot who said it, but energy can't be created or destroyed.
That's the law of conservation.
So if I sit there and I'm like, you're ugly, you're fat, this and this and that, you're not creating new sadness or anger. I'm just giving you mine and putting it into you.
Yeah.
So this is why you have to be very cautious of your surroundings choose. So I choose to magnetize the happiness, the creativity, and I want to repel the sadness and the anger, you know. But it all starts from self-awareness, self-worth, self-understanding. You know what I'm saying? And continue on to that, like right now I'm day 4 of not smoking weed, which is fucking major for me, man, like major. And you know, and when Mars came back from Costa Rica, shout out to Mars, man, I fucking love you, dog. And you know, I handed him a joint. He's like, nah, I'm not smoking. And I don't know why he just said it with such like certainty. And I was like, and he's like, nah, I'm just not smoking. And I'm like, you know, I wanted to smoke. But I was like, why should I stop smoking? It's not stopping me from what I want to do. And he said to me, so then why is it that you're smoking? You're saying why not, but why ask yourself why? And I was like, oh shit, you know? And then the day went by. The next day I didn't smoke. And then the nighttime came and I remembered why I smoked. And I was like, you know, I was fucking panic attack. But then I'm like, no. Because my body is trying to tell me something. My mind is trying to tell me something. And I'm like, and the weed is almost like numbing it. Because our feelings, we don't just feel for no reason. We're not going through something for no reason. So it's kind of like, I kind of like learned that the weed is kind of like, it was kind of making me ignore those feelings almost.
Anti-suffering juice.
Yeah. And
I use it for the same way. And
yeah.
This is all inspiring to me. I really want to stop. I've been talking about on this podcast for like 3 weeks that I want to stop. Every time we have an episode, I'm like, man, I gotta stop smoking.
Yeah.
We even literally
The
last
last
episode we were.
I know that's literally that was another reason. Yeah, I like to say too, but literally though, like the last episode too, kind of made me realize I was like, well, I was tired as fuck. I got done with a work shift. It was busy as fuck, but I just felt like so stupid. I'm like, damn, maybe this is kind of like not doing me well right now, you know? Because I started off just doing it at nighttime to sleep, and then it ended up being 2 hours before bed, 5 hours before bed to the second I wake up, you know? And I saw this thing, and he said, if it's not an addiction, see if you can give it up for 1 week. And that goes for social media, smoking, watching porn, masturbation. If you can give it up for a week, it's not an addiction. But then, you know, day 1, I was fine. Last night, this was day 3 yesterday, I was really like, I was like, oh, I want to smoke, man. Like, I'm good. Like, I don't really need it, but I was just like, why not? It'll be cool, you know? And then I'm like thinking, I was like trying to justify why I should smoke. And then I was just like, nah, this is how like every drug addict thinks, dude. And I was like,
yeah,
let me not justify it, because the fact that I'm even trying to justify it shows. And I'm like, I'm going to give myself 1 week, you know? And like, it's not that I'm physically craving it. It's just almost boredom. But then Mars also told me, he was like, if you can accomplish nothing, you can accomplish everything. Because he did the 10-day sit. He did 10 days sitting over there, winning.
Mars is on a different level.
Yo,
right
he's dude, he's so fucking inspirational to me as a human being, bro. It's
yeah, he's
funny.
inspired me many times in my life. I wouldn't be here at all without him. Shout out to Mars, bro. Man.
So you have something coming up in Costa Rica in January.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, tell us about that,
Me and
bro.
Mars Hendrick, we're running a retreat, okay? It's $1,500 for the whole expenses trip. It's a week in Costa Rica in fucking paradise in the rainforest where me, Mars Hendrick, and this other guy, Juan, are going to be teaching you freedom of expression and surrendering of self-judgment through the art of rap, dance, and meditation. And it's going to be a really beautiful experience. We're going to really
those are very soulful things.
Yeah, we're going to really instill a lot of love into you guys. And I'm going to demonstrate, me personally, because I'm me. I can't really talk for the other leaders. But I'm going to be demonstrating how I overcame my self-doubt through my art. You know, how I overcame, you know, the judgment, the constant judgment I was giving to myself through my rapping. And how much it helped me in my life. And also, you know, incorporating how improvisational life is, you know, and what I do, you know, you see me freestyle. If you're my fan from TikTok, for example, or you're my friend in life, you know, you hang out with me. What do? I freestyle every single day, everywhere I'm at. It's what I do. It's literally like the air I breathe, because me, I'm just escaping my mind and my judgment, you know, like not only that, I'm just like entering into that primal state, you know. We all have access to the same intelligence.
This is when you want to tap into the caveman state, right?
Yes. We all have access to the same intelligence that makes a rose bloom. All right?
That was bars. That was crazy. Say that again?
We all have access to the intelligence that makes a rose bloom. The
wow.
creativity.
I'm getting that tattooed on me, bro.
That's inside of us, bro. I'd get that too.
That's fire.
That's inside of us, bro. The universe is this beautiful, intelligent, and incredibly creative thing, and we are a piece of that universe. But we're not just a piece; we're the whole fucking thing.
Facts,
You know,
man.
we're there. It's sure it's cut off a piece of its perspective and put it in our brains and watches through us, like wearing us like a mask. But we're that thing. You know, so it's like we need to just tap into that sometimes, and it feels good. It feels great.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna be showing you guys how to do that.
It's gonna be good too, like even like for your own sake out there, bro. Like you're just gonna be stepping away from this crazy.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be a very happy fellow, and I'm also gonna teaching is a learning experience too. You know, you learn a lot when you teach.
Yeah.
Because you double down. Like when I was teaching this guy some music theory stuff, I was just like, wow, I really know a lot about this stuff, and I was just refreshing my memory. And I even learned a couple easy little tricks while I was doing it.
Isn't it so crazy, like how teaching really is just like a teacher doesn't even realize that their teachings will go on upon generations, because the stuff that you teach me, that Mars teaches me about theory and music, I'm gonna teach somebody one day,
Yeah,
and then that person's gonna teach somebody one day,
True.
and whoever taught you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Isn't that insane? And it goes on. That's why it's very important to know what you want to learn, like learning.
I have a cool story about my musical lineage. Actually.
Tell us, man.
All right, so. When I was 8 years old, I played the cello. 7, 8 years old, I started playing the cello and I was being taught by this guy named Joel Freeman. Joel Freeman is the son of two very famous artists who made their living, doing different prints. They were all Jewish, so this is a very Jewish family, 100%. You know, like they were some Holocaust surviving type of people, and he had this rich life, man. He's a master cellist, played cello with fucking John Coltrane, basically invented jazz cello.
Oh shit.
He's also a film director, and he's made many great films that have gone on to get critically acclaimed. So he had all these crazy stories, man. And he was taught cello. I was taught cello by him, so he taught me my initial music theory. That's who I learned it from. This guy named Joel. Music theory really is
Here in Connecticut.
He lives over in Westport, yeah.
Where?
And he's a very inspirational guy who I love. I really need to call him. He's old as motherfuck now.
You should.
His cello teacher, who taught him this stuff, was a lady named Francesca Church. She was an incredibly famous cellist as well. But it gets even crazier because I don't know that much about Francesca. But who I do know about is her teacher, Pablo Casals. This is the man who discovered the Bach solo cello suites. You're going to recognize this. I'm going to sing it. He
made that?
You know that shit, all those commercials and shit like that? He didn't make that. That was written by Johann Sebastian Bach. So that's actually how far it goes. He discovered that on a fucking pile of music in a music store. Nobody had ever found it. Written by Johann Sebastian Bach himself. So if you want to know where my yes.
Wow.
My musical lineage goes directly that far.
That's crazy. So that's basically what I was just saying.
Yes.
So your knowledge actually comes from
Bach.
the source.
Yeah. It goes that far back. It's interesting for all my other
Wow.
fellow musicians to look back at all the people who taught you, who taught them, and all this shit. Like, I mean, this is very direct. I mean, that went from Bach writing it to being lost for hundreds of years to being picked up by Pablo Casals to being learned. He practiced it for 20 years before he played in front of anybody.
Wow.
And then he teaches Francesca Church, who teaches Joel, who finds me and tells me I'm a little genius and teaches me cello. And sees how special I am.
Wow.
And now here I am.
Teaching TeddyBeatzz.
Teach TeddyBeatzz.
Holy shit.
And here to become a rock star.
Wow,
and
man.
Influence the world.
This shit runs deep.
This shit runs deep, bro.
Damn, son.
Yeah, this shit runs deep.
Damn,
I love
where'd
to
you
think
find
about that.
this?
Like when I listen, that's why I'm very connected to like Bach and cello and just like all this older type of music, even jazz, like all this stuff I'm very connected to because I just know that like this shit really runs deep, bro. Music has moved in very small steps.
Can I ask you something? What makes like Bach and them so special? Like, is it the way they wrote their music? Is it like what is it?
Legitimately, like
is it the
back
first
then
time?
everybody wrote music for church. I mean, these are the original rock stars, bro. These are the original people who
rebellions almost.
I mean, they pretty much lived their life broke.
Yeah.
But they made such a huge impact. Every single bit of music now is influenced by them.
Yeah.
Like because they were just literally the foundational blocks of everything. Even Mozart was writing music since he was 3 years old. You know, like
that's how you know music really does come from the soul. Because you just said they made it broke.
Yeah, like
it's like
they all were just like church musicians. You know, like
wow.
And like Mozart was the one who was the closest to actually being rich. Like Bach
was it because of his music
Handel
or
played
before?
for the church. He was his parents like trained him up as a musician since he was born, and they had him performing in the castles like around like Europe.
Yeah.
But he died.
Puck, right?
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. He died at around 27 to 30. He died very young, maybe even younger than that. He fucking worked himself to death, and he wrote this crazy fucking death requiem thing before he died.
Yeah, I should really like study that more, like learn, because I wonder if I could pick something up. Or do you think their music now is almost useless today?
No.
Other than
because you can tie, like, first of all, there's a lot of good stuff to sample there that's probably untouched. I mean, Beethoven made a lot of incredibly beautiful music. Yeah. Like, and it gets deep though. That's good stuff to sample. I mean, there's some classic beats that have had like
So you're saying what makes it special was because the fact that it wasn't like church music, or was it like the structure?
It's like literally, I mean, the advanced of it, you know, like
at the time.
Like, like not even at the time. I mean, it's even still today. Incredibly advanced. I mean, they wrote it on sheet music. You know, like, and it just gets insane. But these are the influential musicians that then they taught people. Like, you know, they all had students. You know, like they taught. But who did Beethoven teach? Beethoven taught like they all had like students that would become like each other. Like, you know, like that would become the next legend, like Handel or Dvorak or fucking. Yeah, like Bach. I don't know the timing of all this stuff. Yeah. Like, but like somebody taught somebody who taught somebody, you know, who taught somebody else.
It's crazy, yo.
So it keeps going back even further.
You ever think like music is gonna like do almost like a reset and go back to how it was, or do you think it's just gonna keep advancing?
I think that that's a good question. Can't go back. It can incorporate, and maybe there's certain energies. I think that music does go through these phases of intense, over-the-top pop, and then raw and rugged, which we saw in the 80s going into the 90s. 80s was overruled by hair metal and synths. Then Nirvana comes along. And what did they do? They made it cool to not be cool. Yeah. They made it cool to not be cool.
Facts.
They were motherfucking Kurt Cobain, anxiety, wears a fucking flannel, can barely play music, can barely sing. He was an anti-musician. I mean, this is no insult to him. He was incredibly incompetent as a musician. You know, like, this is coming from a person who has a certain level of mastery in these things. You know, I can read music, I can fucking write music, I can play multiple different instruments, I can sing on multiple different registers, I can rap, I can do all this stuff. I have a deep musical knowledge. But this is to say that you don't even need that stuff to make good music. Some people just fucking are born as this cultural enigma, and that's what Nirvana was breaking the mold. And I think people need that rawness, and I think the 2010s were back. You know, the last 20 years have been way over the top in the pop regards, in the cookie cutter computerized stuff, and I think people really are kind of craving something real. And that's why artists like JID have a way, you know, and that's why there's all these like interesting low key niche artists. Do you think
like that era of like Kurt Cobain and stuff, like that's another thing, like a lot of these artists, like, you know, like you're saying he made it cool to not be cool, and then like, but these guys were also abusing drugs a lot, you know, and misleading a lot of people too. And another thing I read yesterday was like the industry people, they take people with major influence and then they push bad agenda. You know what I'm saying? They can say it's conspiracy or not, but at the end of the day, what you're listening to on the radio is not really the most brain healthy thing to listen to. Yeah. And that's why I really think, like, even, like, us, where we're going, whatever path we take, man, like, even if you and I, like, do split paths down the road for the better or whatever it is, like, I think it's so important that we really stay true to what's good for the human race, you know? Yeah. Like,
I feel that completely, man.
For us not to get brainwashed.
Working on building this legendary platform, like, you know, I will not, like, engage in telling you it's okay to fucking take perks or drink lean. You'll never catch me fucking advocating for that. You'll never catch me advocating for the disregard of women and abuse of women. You'll never catch me advocating for the neglect of my children or my friends or you know, like, you'll never catch me advocating for murder. Murder, no, you'll never catch me. You will never hear me say that I'll kill you in my bar or I killed somebody ever.
And they pay these people with influences millions of dollars to do that, man. Yeah. To do that. But, like, my purpose overall, despite the fucking music, man, I need to make an impact on this planet with my being now. That's more important. In a positive way. To make a positive shift.
Because if we don't focus on that, then there might not even be a humanity in a couple years, in a couple hundred years.
I know, man.
You know, a lot of people have to become these building blocks in order, and it does tie together with everything we're talking about. You know, we need to get closer as a species. You know, between like our different types of how we look and how we are. You know, different cultures and all this stuff. We need to become closer, otherwise we don't have a chance. Because if we're not lined up, then we're all living on this one planet. And if one person's over here pouring toxic sludge into the ocean, and one person over here like don't do that, you know, like, and they're like, no, I want to do this. You know, these are all problems. You know, these are all that leads to war. That leads to but most people don't even care about the fucking toxic waste and all this shit. But we're destroying the planet, and you know what's gonna be a lot harder to do? Destroying the planet when we're united, because then if we're all on the same page, and like this is why. You know, I don't know. I feel like sometimes there's a conspiracy to make a one world government, but I mean that's what we need to do. Somehow I
don't know why people look down upon that.
I don't fucking know how we would
unless
do
it's
it
a negative one world thing.
Because they think of it like Hitler or something.
Yeah,
like it gets taken over by one person. It should never be that. Like
one religion, one this, one that.
Everybody needs to maintain their individuality in this unified world. We need to maintain our individuality as cultures, as countries, as segments of the world. But we need some kind of true people. But then see, it's like strong people create good times create weak people create bad times, and that's what's going to happen.
But at the end of the day, we need the balance of the good and the bad, you know, but like overall...
God doesn't give a fuck about us, people. He'll let us run ourselves into extinction. We need to know. We need to...
Free will. He gave us free will. Yeah. And not only that, this is another topic.
That's how much of a fuck he gave about it.
This is another topic, like I would love to say, like God is the maker of good and evil. I don't give a fuck what you guys say. God is only good. The devil is only this. But it's like no. Because like I said, Lucifer was once an angel. He came down. It's like don't underestimate God. Don't think that all this is out of God's control. It's like God is allowing this to happen, but He gave us free will.
You ever heard of fucking uppercase good?
Uppercase good?
Check this out, man. All right. So there's two forms of good. There's good, which is lowercase g good. It's in opposition to bad. That's what lowercase g is. Uppercase G is everything. It's all good. Because the love that the universe had to give us the freedom to experience bad and good relatively, even though it's all positive uppercase good, it's like this. And why the reason it's so uppercase good is because of that freedom we get to experience that. Because of the uniqueness and the way it all plays out. You know, we wouldn't even know what good was without bad. It wouldn't exist.
Facts.
So it's like we need those things balancing each other out. We're going to 40 minutes, bro.
I know, but this is such a natural discussion. Dude.
Yeah, we
balled out. Probably one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah, this is the best one.
Yeah, I like this.
Oh, yeah, we do. We go hard, man. I'm about to pass up on 100K on TikTok, man. I've been working so hard. You guys, there's only 24 subscribers here, but we have more views than 24.
Yeah.
You know, so people are hating, bro.
I guess we should wrap it up, man. I think we should wrap it up, you know? And honestly, it was great talking to you guys. I hope earlier in the episode it didn't trigger you, and if it did, I'm happy it did.
Yeah,
you know, respectfully put some respect on Molly Brown's name.
Like, you know, if you want to think that I'm not going to disrespect you, but don't disrespect me because I have my views of the world. You know, they're not hurting anybody. I'm not hurting anybody by believing that we're all human beings and that race is actually stupid. Okay? like I acknowledge that it exists and all that, but, you know, I ain't hurting anybody by believing that. I'm actually helping people because, you know, a lot of people don't identify with the way that, you know, the cultures want to make them out to be. You know, some of us don't want to identify with that.
Honestly, some people are just stupid.
It'd be like that.
Incompetent, man. But whatever. It is what it is. All love.
Yeah.
03 love. 03 aliens. Aliens in the house. You know.
They're definitely going to bring this video up in the future when they're trying to do the shade campaign.
I'm prepared for it, man.
What's that called?
The Charlemagne?
Nah, a campaign. It's where you try to ruin someone's name. It's like a campaign. It's like where you try to blame someone's name.
I don't know.
Forget it, bro. It's some kind of psychological thing that people.
This is episode 8. 9? 8. Well, this was episode 8 of the Beatzz and Brown Show, aka Natural Discussions. I was thinking about changing that name on the YouTube channel last night too, but we gotta see if it's taken or not. So
we could just like have that be like analysis, you know, like that's like the like in parentheses, that's like one of our AKAs, you know, like AKA, you know, I'm Miley Brown, I'm also Lil Santa,
aka newly known as Beige.
Oh yeah, AKA Beige.
All right, guys. That was it. I love you guys. Subscribe and follow us.